Hey everyone, this reading will be for Legends of Magic, Book 12. This is the tale of the heroes of Equestria. However, there's one very important thing to remember about me. I am not a hero. Star Swirl? I have never had any special powers. I've never really done anything noteworthy. I am a scholar. The legendary heroes of Equestria, they're all here. This particular year, I had chosen to study legendary heroes. It was an important subject to me. My town was in danger, and I needed heroes capable of taking on the largest threat that Equestria had ever faced. Rockhoof, Flash Magnus, Mage Meadowbrook, Mistmane, and Somnambula. But as scholars so often do, I forgot the most commonly understood knowledge about the thing I was studying. You should never meet your heroes. You're all real. I thought some of you might be, but I never guessed every one of you was. I have so many questions. I need my notebook. I need lots of notebooks. I need to know more stories about your lives. Well, Mr. Star Swirl, I think there will be time for that later. It seems to me we should see the Stygian's problem first. Right, Stygian's problem. Remind me, who's Stygian again? Why, Stygian's our fearless leader. He's the one that brought us all together. Verily, if not for him, we would have never found one another. His town is in danger, and while I told him I could have handled it alone, he seems to think we need you. We know you're very busy, Star Swirl. Do you suppose you could find the time to do something worthy of your legend? On a quest? But you're so old. What if there's a steep hill or narrow stairs? You might break a hip. Your concern is appreciated, Princess Celestia, but I assure you that I will be fine. But what if you're not? What if there's a great evil wizard and he traps you in his tower and you can't get back to us? Princess Luna, there are no evil wizards. But it must be dangerous. You won't tell us where you're going, and you'd only do that if it was dangerous. You girls worry too much. I'm taking a short trip to the seaside with a few friends. It's what we old ponies do. You have friends? For your information, yes, I do know ponies who are not teenage princesses, though you'd hardly know it. You promise you'll be back soon? I mean, if you didn't, I'd be fine, but you know how Luna gets. Yes, girls, I promise. So, explain this to me again. What's wrong with this castle? Nothing is wrong with it. It's merely not a suitable seat for the princesses of Equestria. I don't know. I'm a lot more comfortable with this than the giant monstrosity on the mountain. Speaking of, for Pegasi, I hate trying to fly through the forest. I get sticks in my wings. I agree with Flash Magnus. Additionally, the other castle is pretty. What do you think, Stygian? Goodness, I had to teleport just to get away from those girls. I'm sure they're sweet. Maybe I could full sit for you sometime. I think it's best if we avoid that. Why is that? Eventually, protecting this kingdom is going to fall solely to the two of them. Even if we are able to face some problems ourselves, it's best if they don't know this little group exists. Something like this can't last forever. We had spent so much of the time traveling, from my town to Rockhoof's volcano, from the volcano to Meadowbrook Swamp. Now, Rockhoof, one thing I must know, is this the same shovel you always use, or are there a series of shovels? Oh no, I make them all by hand, but there's been a few. My first was burned by a baby cheerlife. I must hear that story. From the swamp to Flash's forest, to southern Equestria. And you cured the whole town of zombies with this potion? Well, they weren't actual zombies. I need to write this down. To the greenhouse, to the castle. The inside of the snake. How did you see anything? My necklace's globe has. It let me see everything. But now, this was different. Stygian? Huh? Are you okay? You've been kind of quiet since we left the castle. Me? Yeah. Well, I guess I've just been thinking a lot about my town and how we'll have to go about saving it. Did you have a plan? Well, nothing solid yet, but I was thinking we could start by removing some of the ponies on the periphery. If they're using all the ponies in town like batteries, the more we remove, the easier it could be to face the dazzlings. And perhaps we can talk to them and figure out... I don't wish to interrupt, but I think you may be a bit off base with how to defeat these sirens. Do you mind? No, please go ahead. Let's just go back to the beginning, shall we? I have been working on this theory that the best elements within us can spread light and virtue. When they're combined, these elements can create a power capable of protecting Equestria from all manner of threats. Stygian, didn't you have an idea kind of like this? What's that? Don't worry. Tell us more, Star Swirl. There is, of course, sorcery. That is my element. Strength, represented here by Rockhoof. Bravery, Flash Magnus. Healing, Mage Meadowbrook. Beauty, Mistmane. And hope, Sonambula. But what about Stygian? An interesting question. It had never occurred to me that there might be a seventh part of all of this. Young Pony, what is it that you bring to the group? Me? What do I bring? Do you have any special powers? Something hidden within that you haven't shown us yet? Special? No, Mr. Starswirl. There's nothing special about me. I'm not a hero. That's the first time I said it out loud, I think. At least the first time I really believed it. I had nothing to offer. Not to worry, young pony. Not every pony is meant to be a hero. Most are not. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Now hold on. It was Stygian who brought us together. Yeah, if it had been up to me, I never would have left my swamp. And as for my Bits, he's as brave as nearly any pony. He's not a soldier, but he put himself out there to recruit us. Indeed, there's something quite beautiful about Stygian. All of us faced obstacles and could have given up. Stygian has put himself in danger for each and every one of us. That is right. Stygian is what brought us together and what holds us together now. If he had an element, it would be, well, perhaps not something associated with a legend, but I think it would be friendship. And friendship is... Well, it's not nothing. Friendship is important. Yeah, get in here, little fella. Y'all can't go getting sad. We're so close now. If it weren't for you, I'd be fighting dragons right now. Thanks, every pony. We really should get to saving my town, though. Putting aside the question of friendship for the moment, these other values are the things that hold up Equestria. The pillars of Equestria, if you will. Individually, they have been enough to overcome volcanoes, defeat dragons, cure the sick, restore beauty, and bring hope. Together, when used in harmony, I believe they may provide a sort of raw magical energy unlike anything Equestria has ever seen. That is fantastic, Starswirl. And with that, we should be able to counteract the dazzlings. Then we should be able to talk sense into them. We can help change them. I'm afraid not. I have devoted my life to the study of magic. I created anamorphic magic as we know it. I can change the shape of a pony, but I cannot change their mind. These dazzlings, they are very powerful and evil. But I'm afraid we cannot depend on hope this time, Somnambula. These creatures must be dealt with for good. I'm a healer, Star Swirl. I protect and help ponies. I'm not going to help you destroy these creatures, evil or not. Destroy? Something so drastic would only be a last resort, but I do not believe anything that drastic will be necessary. From what Stygian has told me, they feed on the magic of other ponies. All we need to do is separate them from magic. I don't know. Perhaps separation is the best we could hope for. I'm not hearing other ideas. This is Stygian's town we're talking about. Perhaps he should decide. I agree. I'll do what Stygian decides. Well, what will it be, young pony? You sought my sorcery and wisdom. Will you now turn away from it? I think Star Swirl is right. Ponies don't change. It's too dangerous to keep the Dazzlings here. Very intelligent decision, young pony. Now, it's not so bleak as you all seem to think. I know of several lovely dimensions without the slightest hint of magic. I will create a portal to one of these worlds, and you'll work together to push them through. Know that they will be desperate to stay, so they may use any means at their disposal to stop us. I sometimes wonder when I lost my way. I keep coming back to that moment, when I accepted that I was powerless, that Star Swirl knew better, and I chose security over hope. But as Star Swirl said, ponies don't change. Perhaps that is the pony I always was, the pony who needed to be strong. First, Meadowbrook has created a potion for all of you, which will allow you to withstand the magic of the Dazzlings for a short time. On that note, this will need to be an efficient attack. This potion requires a pretty rare plant, so we're only going to have one shot at this. The only other option was to make you deaf, and then we wouldn't be able to communicate. And because we had so little, Star Swirl said I should make everyone else's a little stronger, rather than making one for you, Stygian. You understand, right? Yeah, he's right. It's not like I have any powers. This quest changed me. I had only ever wanted to study. I accepted that I was not a hero. Stygian, if we should fail, I'm counting on you to return to the princesses and tell them what happened. But by no means are they to come here and attempt to rescue me. Understood? Yes, Star Swirl, I understand. I said that phrase for more than I ever imagined I would in those days. But then, in all the time I spent questing, I never imagined I'd be standing to the side, watching my friends fight my battle. But Star Swirl knew this was necessary. And Star Swirl knows best, doesn't he? Pillars of Equestria. Let us show these creatures what we can do. Foul creatures? Shall we show them who they're up against, sisters? Let's do it, sister. I want to give the command. Get 'em, ponies. Yar, get 'em. Don't let 'em hurt our queens. Remember, they ain't got control over their own actions. Weather this first strike and get to the Dazzlings. The more time we waste with common ponies, the more our potion wears off. Hey, Somnambula, I got an idea for a combo move. You want in? I would be honored. How much of that sleeping draught you got? Plenty, but I can't hit all of them at once. With my speed, I bet I can get to the Dazzlings. That should help distract them. There you are. Follow the brightly patterned Pegasus. Rockcliffe, your plan is working. Watch that first step there, folks. Come on, is this the best you can do? Get him, get the fast one. Well, she certainly pulled enough of them away to lighten my load. Star Swirl, if you're going to cast a spell, I reckon now is the time for it. Indeed. They really were amazing. The pillars of Equestria, Star Swirl called them. They were the best pony kind had to offer, and I'd brought them together here for one great battle. And as I watched them push those sirens through the portal, only two thoughts crossed my mind. The first was, I did it. I helped save my town. But the second was different. The second thought was, I should be down there. And that thought rung in my head for months after that day. Since that day, I've devoted myself to finding a way in which I might become a hero in my own right. But I think I finally found something that can allow me to become a hero like my friends. It's simple enough, I think. All I need is to borrow the symbol of each of their strengths. This ritual should allow me to something amazing. And then, I can stop hearing those 4 words repeating in my head. I can stop writing them every story I tell about the pillars. I am no hero. I have to talk to him. I'm glad you read it. Nothing made me madder when I was a pony of shadows than thinking that no one would ever know my side. It was an incredible account. It was you that left it for me then? I'm afraid so. After all these years, it would seem I'm still the shy scholar pony. Heck, if you're worried about being a scholar, you should come visit my house. 2 of my walls are just lined with reference material. That sounds like my sort of place. Honestly, I may take you up on that. I have 1,000 years of research to catch up on. I have to ask you something. You haven't read enough of my ramblings already? I wanted to ask you about the last thing you wrote in your diary. I see. Well, for all my good intentions, I certainly proved those right, didn't I? Actually, that was not what I was going to say at all. I've read through all of the legends, both the originals and Star Swirls, and I read your journal cover to cover. Sure, you were just a scholar, but you showed the wisdom to turn away the Sirens. When your town was taken over, you made it your mission to save it. Your planning, strategy, and knowledge was what saved the day for each of your friends and convinced them to join you. And none of you quite understood it, but you brought the element of friendship to the group. If things had gone differently, you could have been Princess Twilight. Stygian, you are a hero. I don't know if that's true, but it means the world to me that you think so. I do. You know, you said that was the last thing I wrote in my diary. It strikes me that is only true of that diary. I left that diary behind when I went into exile. I don't suppose you'd be interested in reading my other diary, would you? Would I ever? I've actually been working on a theory. Tell me what you think. Star Swirl misunderstood the elements of harmony. He discounted your contribution. He exiled you. He also dumped those sirens into a world where they nearly took over. And it's probably because he locked himself away that Luna ended up becoming Nightmare Moon. What if Star Swirl the Bearded is the greatest villain in the history of Equestria? You make an interesting case.